Hey, what's up? So I was thinking about how, like, when you go after stuff, when you want to do stuff in life that is not like right in front of you, it's it's almost like you're kind of bringing on like all sorts of noise and all sorts of whatever, whether it's internally, externally, or whatever. Like stuff is just gonna happen to where people are like, there's a lot of doubt whether it's your own belief being like, oh, I can't do this or that, or other people being out saying stuff, and over time over constant failure and whatever stuff like that, I've kind of seen that obviously having people that believe in you is important, but it also there's something about doing something even when others think you can't do it, even when it's something that you don't even really talk about and you're just doing it, and it's something that no one could think you could do. That is kind of I don't know. It's kind of like alert. It's kind of like a. It just feels good. I don't know how else to describe it, but there's something about there's something about doing stuff where you're like it, and even if no one else, whatever, they like that. I don't know. It's just really kind of dope. I can't lie. I like if I go to my grave, at least I want to have tried to do things that were on my heart that I felt like doing it, even if people say stuff or whatever. And it's been kind of that way my entire life, just to varying degrees about just doing little things or whatever. It's when you get bullied. Oh, I think this thing tilted. You don't get bullied for being the same. It's always for being different. And for some odds, and I'm not like crazy different, but just doing little different things and that kind of stuff and trying that stuff. You're always met with something. It's never like, oh, it's all chill and stuff like that. Like it's not just, oh, you just kind of do your thing in the background. No, you always get stuff. There's always stuff, whether it's internally about you being like, oh, I can't do this, or anxiety and all that stuff acting up, or it's other people being like, oh, you can't do this, or why are you trying this, or what the hell is up, or whatever. It's rare. It's pretty rare that you actually get support until something actually comes to fruition. Like you'll get like there's a like I think there's that Post Malone song, Congratulations. It's kind of the epitome of it. People will like be your best friend and like say, like, oh wow, all this stuff when it succeeds, but not a lot of people actually believe in it when you do something. It's almost a good thing though, because it's as you do that thing and as you build up almost like a resistance or tolerance or whatever to it, you kind of grow thick skin doing that process. It allows you to do a lot more and handle a lot more because you got the people that are celebrating you, but then the second anything happens, then they're all against you. And I haven't really experienced much of this because I haven't had like crazy success, but from what I've heard, people like leave you or whatever, stuff like that. Second you lose stuff or whatever, it's a tale's old as time. It's pretty much it's probably been in since the beginning of time that people have done this kind of stuff over and over. But it's so weird that we know this stuff. We've seen movies of this stuff and heard about it, and yet a lot of people like there's this whole thing about falling into the same stuff about doing this kind of stuff over repeatedly. Like people critique or do all this stuff when it's like, shouldn't we all be trying to do something in our own ways, trying to be changing stuff, doing like going out of the comfort zone, doing all this stuff? Like, shouldn't we be trying to like do something different? Like, because if everyone's doing the same thing, then how the hell is there going to be anything different or anything's going to grow or change? Like, it's just going to stay the same. You almost need people doing different, whether it's like people in like tech or people making movies or people, I don't know, dancing or people singing or people welding. I don't know, just people doing something differently or pushing themselves to try new or do new stuff is the only way things grow and change. So it's like, I don't know why people are resistant to it. And I see it a lot, like even indirectly about people. I think there's big stuff to do with like politics and like belief and religion and all this stuff to where people get hung up on these things and they're very resistant to changing or doing anything. And so like it's kind of like that Bob Dylan song, "The Times Are Changing." Stuff moves and grows, and if you resist it, then ultimately you're just gonna fall by the wayside. Like it's important to be able to grow and change as life does, and I just it's kind of not the same thing as what I'm talking about, but when you want to do something different and try all that stuff, it's inevitable you're gonna get criticism or flack and the people that believe in you, and there'll be a lot of people that either don't believe in you or just kind of like aren't really there. Like they're just not quite like whatever because they got their own stuff or whatever. But it's it's crazy how the second that anything starts actually happening, by the way, not from my experience, but from whatever, that suddenly there's all these people just there. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the fact, especially that I've been failing, or I like that, but I also like the fact that a lot of it has been solo, because it's like the more solo you do something, or I believe it's me and the man upstairs, it's like we got a good deal going. But the more you do something like that, the more almost like natural it is, and the more you're able to kind of grow and learn and make it almost a part of who you are, versus it being an amalgamation of the people you're around, or this, that, and the third. Like it's not like I grew up in a family that does stuff like what I want to do, or I've been like, it's kind of one of those things that kind of just has happened, and I just kind of like, it just kind of felt like a thing that I should do. It's like it's been almost like a thing of where something has happened, I've like done it, I'm like, you know what, why don't I do this? And it kind of just keeps leading me to places where I'm like, I have these desires and aspirations that never were present, but they've grown over time naturally. Like it's kind of been through this process. And I think it's honestly easier when you're by yourself, because although it's tough, it's almost like the best. It's like I was trying to think of like an example to say, but when you're by yourself, when you're kind of going through and learning about stuff, you kind of need to have those trials and errors and failures and stuff like that, because it just helps you get the thing sooner. Because if you're like in a spot where you're around people who are doing stuff, or you're like waiting on stuff, or it's gonna take a lot longer versus when you're just so focused on it. Like it's like whoever made David, like a statue, like you're like carving all the marble, whatever. If you have a bunch of people doing it, it might take longer, because you're like, oh, should I do it like this, or do I do it like this, versus one person that's like focused. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but it takes struggling, it takes not knowing what's next, it takes all this stuff to be able to do something, pursue something that has any like true value outside of what you already know. And I think that's kind of cool. Like I think it's cool to be the only one that believes in something or does something or whatever. And if it fails, so be it. At least you tried. Like that's what I don't get with a lot of stuff, is that there's all criticism and all that stuff, but it's like what, like why not at least try stuff? Like if any of y'all have stuff you want to do, like you really feel like doing, at least like try it. Even like the background in your life, like you spend a little time doing it or whatever, like at least try. I mean, I just don't get why it's just the thing for people to have dreams, and once they get to a certain age, then it's just, oh, that's over. That's the past, and then they just deal with and put up with a life that they don't feel fulfilled in. Ultimately, you get to the point where they're retired, they're old, and they're like, oh, I should have done this, and then they die. Like it's like, why is that a thing that we just all do? We all just accept that we're just supposed to be, oh, or okay, and then we retire, and then we don't have to do this shitty job or whatever, and we're good for like a few years, and then oh, maybe we die, and oh, whatever. Like it's like is that really like we got one? It's not like there's like a bunch of these ones. It's not like you're like, okay, it's not like you're like, okay, I have all these regrets. Okay, going to the next life, I'm not going to do this, and that. Like it's like you got this one. So that's what I'm saying. Like being alone with yourself, whatever. And failing is important, because the more you like fail and do stuff, the more you're able to learn, and the quicker you are able to learn that, and the more you're able to figure out stuff about yourself, so that the quicker you're able to like do the stuff that you actually want to do, and live a life that you find fulfillment and purpose in, and be the best partner, be the best father, be the best mother, be the best like sibling, or be the best whatever, because you understand yourself better, and so you understand. It's like filling your cup up before you fill up others. If your cup is already like, there's barely anything in the cup, then how do you fill up other people? You need to fill up your cup, and that's what happens. That's what you do by finding the stuff that you actually like doing, and gives you a reason to live. So I don't know if that all makes any sense, but yeah, anyone out there, hey, if no one else believes you, I do. But you don't need me to believe me. You just gotta lock in. Everything happens for a reason, and just keep going till the day we die. But love y'all. See y'all. Bye.